allowed the theme song to be that good? Where you lead, I will follow anyway. All right, I lit a maple syrup candle. I have my pumpkin spice cookies. I wore the most fall themed outfit that I have. I'm ready to talk about my correct opinions about Gilmore Girls. I don't know why I did not watch Gilmore Girls as it was airing as I was growing up. I was more of a Full House kid. So when I would scroll through the TV and I saw that Gilmore Girls was on instead of Full House, I would be angry at them. But I was thinking, because this year has been just so awful, I need a little serotonin boost. And so I've been trying to find that serotonin boost on multiple different outlets. And come September 1st, my whole Twitter timeline was like, I'm restarting Gilmore Girls. It's time for my Gilmore Girls annual rewatch. And I'm like, I wonder what that feels like. I wonder what that would feel like for me. So I did it. I wasn't expecting to be as hooked as I am, because I feel like with a show like Gilmore Girls, people who watched it in its prime, when they rewatch it, there's like a sense of nostalgia when they watch it, right? And I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be as good for me because I don't have that. I'm just walking into it, 20 years later, and I don't know how well it's gonna hold up. It holds up. I've been taking notes. I did not even take notes in my AP Stats class in high school. But I took notes for this. And I'm ready to tell you. I forgot to mention that I finished season 1 and I am a couple episodes into season 2. So these are where my opinions come from. I only have one season to go off of. So let's talk characters. I'm gonna be looking at my notes. My first impression of Lorelai apparently was, Lorelai is chaotic. Love it, because I know she won't resort to being mean or taking extreme anger out on anyone. She just spirals a bit, most of the time asks for help, and then one way or another figures something out. And I just have to laugh because I really said she doesn't take her anger out on anyone. I just have to laugh because she has started to take her anger out on people, and not in like an extreme way yet. But if she has a minor inconvenience and then she goes to Luke's and they're out of, muffins or bagels or whatever she wants, she will start to cry. And that's like, I understand, no judgment. It's just, I'm starting to see more of her. Lorelai is a good mom, but I feel like her and Rory need to practice some boundaries. Like having your mom with you on a date, even if it's at your house, even if you're just watching a movie, having your mom there, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Another thing about Lorelai is that she was the blueprint for Taylor Swift's personality. I mean, let's look at the material first of all. Let's look at how they look. You can see that they have the same eyebrows, they have the same eye shape, same nose. Taylor's teeth are like a little bit rounder, but other than that, like, they look exactly the same. The same. Even Lorelai's mannerisms, how she's kind of like moving around a lot or talking with her hands, or when she laughs and steps back. Taylor, I know that that's you. Blink if you need help. Lorelai stresses me out a little bit, and I think it's just because I'm a Capricorn and I like to plan things out and like know what I'm gonna say. I'm very to the book. And like, she's a different person every time she wakes up, I think, which is fine. I just think she's a Scorpio. She's a Taurus. That's just not right. Okay, so then we have Rory. She is a baby bunny, and when she's sad, I'm sad. She's also the girl in high school, if I'd ever asked to copy their homework, she would have a very smart insult ready for me. And I deserve it. It's hard because she's like an old soul, but she's still pretty naive in some ways. Okay, Luke. I have a lot of conflicting opinions about this man. The man, the myth, the legend, Luke. I don't know his last name. Why does Luke look so drastically different when he's wearing a hat versus not wearing a hat? The first time he took off his hat, I was like, who is this? That's some shape-shifting. That's some catfishing. If you want to talk about women catfishing with their makeup, ask a guy to take his hat off. The amount of people, again, I'm basing everything off of like what I knew from Twitter, talking about this man and simping over this man. And when I first met him, the first couple of episodes in the season, I was like, really? Like this man? That's who? Really? And then the Donna Reed episode happened. Leading up to that point, and I guess most of season 1, they didn't know if they were going to keep Luke as a character or not. Like, he was just kind of there. And so I feel like because of that, he did not have a personality in the first season. He was just like, I'm here. And they weren't sure if it was gonna last. So I definitely just feel like that was a problem from, like, you know, the other side of it, and not the actor's fault. I also felt like in the very beginning, because they didn't know what to do with his character, like where to go, they were kind of forcing his and Lorelai's interactions as flirting, when really, like, as a viewer for the first time in 2020, I'm like, they want me to like them as a couple. I don't want to be aware of that. I just want to like them. I just want to not be thinking about it. But then my favorite episode of the season was the Donna Reed episode, because so much happened, so much changed. Like, up to that point, I was like, yeah, this is a good show. I think I'll stick it out. I think I will. And then that episode was like, I have to stick it out. Like, I have to see them end up together. It was the first time for me as a viewer I saw Lorelai and Luke's sexual tension without being forced or without feeling like they were trying to make me ship them or something. It was just the way that Lorelai opens the door for Luke and pulls him inside. It lives in my mind, rent-free. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Roll the clip.
Thank God, get in here.
Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? And then just like the proximity of their bodies together as they're searching for like the bird, baby chick, whatever it was. Are you kidding me? I have chills and I hate it. I hate it. And then you get the imagery of, like, you know, Rory and Dean were like doing their thing, and then Lorelai and Luke, and then both of the men come out and like meet each other, and they're like, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? And it's just like, it clicks. You're like, oh, that's Rory's man and that's Lorelai's man. And then like so much has already happened in that episode, and then Christopher shows up. Then is the first time you hear the term, oh, it's the Gilmore Girls. It made me feel very warm inside. The Gilmore Girls. Wow. Okay, so going back to characters, Probably a good time to talk about Christopher. Let me be honest with you. Every woman has a past lover in their life who left them. Very messy ending. But will come back to you every so months, years, just to like check up on you. When you're at your prime, when you are successful in your career, in your love life, in wherever you are, guess who's gonna come back? And just be like, hey, just wanted to see if you forgot about me. And you're like, well, I'm trying to. And that is who Christopher is. I can already see it because we're right at the height, not at the height, but we're at the part where Lorelai and Luke are starting to almost admit that they have feelings for each other. And then Christopher's like, hey, and I just know he's gonna keep coming back. Emily and Richard. I mean, like, do I have to talk about that? Emily is exhausting. There have been a few moments where I'm like, that was really sweet, or like, oh, I could see redemption for her, and then it just goes back to being bad. There's just so many mommy issues in this show that I was not expecting, at least for season 1. Let me like dip my toe in the water, not be like, you ruined my life for 16 years when you had a baby and then you ran away. Like, oh, what? Suki is, first of all, I did not know Melissa McCarthy was in this show. I missed it. I missed the memo. Don't know how, but I did. She is so pure. She's so funny. I want her to make me cookies. I really, really love her and Jackson together. I haven't seen if they do get more screen time like together as a couple or if that even lasts, but I hope it does because they're really pure and like a breath of fresh air when it comes to just like two people knowing their feelings to each other, communicating, and being happy because of it. Cheers. Okay. Dean. Pack it up. Like, I don't want to talk about this man. The show is called Gilmore Girls. Girls! Let me read what I wrote about Dean. This is my, like, Dean burn book here. I said, Dean is literally useless. He just exists. He's not the worst, but I know that there is a better option for Rory coming soon, and there's gonna be some sort of love triangle, and I am already on the other dude's side. Period. He's very sensitive, and I'm all for sensitivity and emotional availability in men. I think that's important. I think they should show their emotions. But I'm talking about the sensitivity where a guy that Rory doesn't even like was holding her books for her and she was trying to get them back. And Dean saw that and assumed that she's in love with this guy and that he shouldn't have even come to apologize. He shouldn't have even tried. He should, like, how dare you do that right in front of me even though I showed up at your school like a weirdo. The whole like 3-month anniversary situation with Rory and Dean was so embarrassing. So embarrassing just because I know that they're not gonna last. But we're at the point in the episode when Dean tells Rory that he loves her and Rory says, I love the car. As you should, baby, as you should. Now that wasn't a great reaction. I'll give him that. Like, I would have definitely been thrown off, but I wouldn't have broken up with a person because of that. Looking at my notes again, I said, Dean in a turtleneck, pack it up, striped sweater episode of SpongeBob. You know what he looked like, actually? You know that picture of The Rock? I feel like we're talking about him too much and I don't want to. So, moving on. Michelle is hilarious. He is definitely the Squidward of the series. in the way that growing up, if I'd watched it, I'd be like, he's so mean. Why is he so sad all the time? He hates his job. Why does he hate his job? Why doesn't he work somewhere he likes? And now as an adult, I'm like, oh. Paris. Is she, you know, I'm just saying if the show was made in 2020, she would be. Okay? You know what I'm saying. I know that her and Rory are gonna end up friends. They're already on a friendlier basis than they were at the beginning of season 1. I'm just wondering how long that's gonna take. Lane is so sweet and so pure and pretty loyal. Like, yes, she did meet up with Dean to study, but she was pretty hard on him. A queen, methinks. Tell me why I had no idea that Milo Ventimiglia is in this series. And not only is he in this series, but he's a character that I'm 99% sure sticks it out to the end. My mind, like, as an active This Is Us watcher and supporter, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's a baby. But then his voice is exactly the same. He's a grown man, but he looks like a baby. I feel like they're gonna do everything they can to make me hate Jess, but I can't. Here's where I'm about to be a little mean. Max Medina. He's fine. He's not like, he's fine. He's fine. He's not the worst person. But I'm like, why does she like him? Like, I don't know. He's just, something is off. Something is off. And even before I started season 2, I was like, this isn't gonna last. Like, if you're ever in an argument with somebody and they propose to you, why aren't you running? I mean, he reminds me of a couple of Mormon guys that I've known, where it's like, well, I know how we're gonna fix this. Let's get married. No, like, we need like therapy. His character kind of feels just like another roadblock between her and Luke, and not a serious option for Lorelai. Just like, let's just throw in Christopher, throw in Max. And I know that's gonna keep happening because they're not gonna give me Luke and Lorelai together in like season 2. I'm gonna have to wait. How long am I gonna have to wait though? Don't answer that. I was really excited when I saw Chad Michael Murray because he's just the epitome of like early 2000s boys. He was the blueprint. But I feel like Tristan is just there. I feel like they're gonna date eventually and it's not gonna be good. Let me make some predictions. Well, I predicted that Lorelai's not gonna marry Max. Rory will be introduced to a new love interest. I wanna say it's gonna be Jess, but also it's like, I don't know how, like, I'm thinking long term, like, okay, if Lorelai and Luke get married and Jess is Luke's nephew, then how does that make Rory and Jess related? So they can't end up together. I wanna say we haven't met the guy that Rory's gonna end up with. I haven't met him yet, but I know it's not Dean and I know it's most likely not Jess. So how many more stupid guys am I gonna have to sit through? I think Luke is gaining more of a personality, so we'll see him maybe open up more about other things. See, Lorelai's the wild card. I never know what she's about to do. If any of my predictions turn out to be wrong, no, they're not. If I were to order from Luke's diner, I would get chocolate chip pancakes. And then I feel like I would have to go to the bathroom 5 minutes later. I don't know if I trust it fully. Also, plot hole. Why do they show Lorelai drinking like 45 cups of coffee a day. And never once a poop joke, never once a bathroom joke, never once a mention of going to the bathroom. Like even watching Rory drink that much coffee, I'm like, girl, you're drinking all that and you're about to sit in class all day. Speaking of, if you want to roast me or drag me for my opinions or predictions so far, you can, but just lightly, because again, it's 2020 and like I'm at my breaking point. Thank you for supporting me on this journey, and I hope that it doesn't rip me up alive. With that, I leave you. Goodbye, fellow Gilmore girlians. If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so cold, all you have to do is call my name and I'll be there on your next train. Where you lead, I will follow. Anywhere